About a year ago, in a moment of procrastination masquerading as an act of reflection, I decided to examine how I spend my time. I opened my laptop, clicked the carefully synced color-coded calendar, and attempted to reconstruct what I'd actually done over the previous 2 weeks. I cataloged the meetings attended, trips made, meals eaten, and conference calls endured. I tried to list everything I'd read and watched, as well as all the face-to-face conversations I'd had with family, friends, and colleagues. Then I inspected 2 weeks of digital entrails, 772 sent emails, 4 blog posts, 86 tweets, about a dozen text messages. When I stepped back to assess this welter of information, a pointillist portrait of what I do and therefore in some sense who I am, the picture that stared back was a surprise. I am a salesman. I don't sell minivans in a car dealership or bound from office to office pressing cholesterol drugs on physicians. But leave aside sleep, exercise, and hygiene, and it turns out that I spend a significant portion of my days trying to coax others to part with resources. Sure, sometimes I'm trying to tempt people to purchase books I've written, but most of what I do doesn't directly make a cash register ring. In that 2-week period, I worked to convince a magazine editor to abandon a silly story idea, a prospective business partner to join forces, an organization where I volunteer to shift strategies, even an airline gate agent to switch me from a window seat to an aisle. Indeed, the vast majority of time I'm seeking resources other than money. Can I get strangers to read an article, an old friend to help me solve a problem, or my 9-year-old son to take a shower after baseball practice? You're probably not much different. Dig beneath the sprouts of your own calendar entries and examine their roots, and I suspect you'll discover something similar. Some of you no doubt are selling in the literal sense, convincing existing customers and fresh prospects to buy casualty insurance or consulting services or homemade pies at a farmer's market. But all of you are likely spending more time than you realize selling in a broader sense, pitching colleagues, persuading funders, cajoling kids. Like it or not, we're all in sales now. And most people, upon hearing this, don't like it much at all. Sales? Blech. To the smart set, sales is an endeavor that requires little intellectual throw weight, a task for slick glad-handers who skate through life on a shoe shine and a smile. To others, it's the province of dodgy characters doing slippery things, a realm where trickery and deceit get the speaking parts, while honesty and fairness watch mutely from the rafters. Still others view it as the white-collar equivalent of cleaning toilets, necessary perhaps, but unpleasant and even a bit unclean. I'm convinced we've gotten it wrong. This is an audiobook about sales. But it is unlike any audiobook about sales you have listened to or ignored before. That's because selling in all its dimensions, whether pushing Buicks on a car lot or pitching ideas in a meeting, has changed more in the last 10 years than it did over the previous 100. Most of what we think we understand about selling is constructed atop a foundation of assumptions that has crumbled. In part 1 of this audiobook, I lay out the arguments for a broad rethinking of sales as we know it. In Chapter 1, I show that the obituaries declaring the death of the salesman in today's digital world are woefully mistaken. In the United States alone, some 1 in 9 workers still earns a living trying to get others to make a purchase. They may have traded sample cases for smartphones and are offering experiences instead of encyclopedias, but they still work in traditional sales. More startling, though, is what's happened to the other 8 in 9. They're in sales, too. They're not stalking customers in a furniture showroom, but they, make that we, are engaged in what I call non-sales selling. We're persuading, convincing, and influencing others to give up something they've got in exchange for what we've got. As you'll see in the findings of a first-of-its-kind analysis of people's activities at work,